What's up, Gunpla modelers? This is Strider Prime, bringing you a new edition of Gundam Customs. And today I am going to build these two guys. The RX-78 NT1, also known as the Gundam Alex 2.0, and the RE-100 Zaku 2 FZ, Principality of Zeon mass-produced mobile suit from the Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in a Pocket. Of all the anime shows and movies and OVAs that we've all remembered in the past, I think nothing holds dearer and has a nice soft spot in our hearts is War in a Pocket. It came out of nowhere when it came out. When I remember seeing it back in, I guess, the early 90s, you could say, if I'm not mistaken. And it was one of those movies that, or OVAs, that didn't talk about politics or new types or the struggle between good and evil or political nonsense. It was just basically a kid going to school in a colony that just only hears about something going on in the world, but did not experience it until, of course, these guys show up in his colony, and he meets Bernard, which he forms a kingship with him. And at first, he's a kid. He didn't understand that, but he saw a lot of cool things happening. Seeing a mobile suit, meeting a pilot, seeing all the action that was happening near his school, and all that stuff. And he wanted to be part of that. He was having fun. As the series progressed, of course, things started to change. He started to see things in a different light. And in the end, it was pretty much the saddest thing to see a child, see, a friend going, passing away like that. He literally saw the horrors of war. And that speaks resonance to a lot of children in the world who probably are going through that same similar situations in other parts of the world. And that is why I consider War in the Pocket the best Gundam anime ever made. Many people put their top 10 list. That is number one. That is number one. But with that being said, I am now going to be building these two guys for the month of December. This is going to be the last build for calendar year 2021. What a fitting end to finish the holidays with two Gundams. That was in during the holidays. I'm going to see if I could try to find a balloon-like Santa Claus, so they can be next to it. As a matter of fact, maybe I have something. Now I just thought about it. We'll discuss that later on. Alright. So, new kits that came out. Obviously, this one came out in 2019, the 2.0. And this one came out same year, of course. Bit surprised that everybody saw this as an RE-100, and you're trying to say to yourself, well, why didn't they make a regular Zaku? Take the inner frame of the Zaku 2, 2.0 for that matter. They used that mold in a few variants already, so why couldn't they do it on this one on the FZ? Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is referred to as the Kai, but I could be completely wrong. And I know there's some proportions here and there that is not similar to the regular Zaku 2. We'll explore that later on. But for now, we're going to be building these guys, and I will be detailing them up, customizing a bit here and there, give it a little bit of weathering. I am not considering doing a diorama scene, or I am not considering of doing the famous scene where, he's stabbing him and he's chopping his head. No, we're not doing that. that's been done a billion times already. I can imagine the many dioramas that many people have done already. I'm just doing the standard builds for both of these guys and bring it up. The one significant changes, there's going to be two changes here. One, even though I'm going to build this entire kit, it's not going to be with the Choban armor. Is it pronounced Choban or Choban? I always keep forgetting. It has some. I mean, the armor looks great, and we will put them on, take it off, right? But it's going to be without the armor. So that's one. This guy, I really like the Fritz helmet version of this, and I'm going to be using that on this kit. So there we go. I hope you guys enjoy this build. It's going to be a long one because you know, 2 kits, a lot of paint, a lot of decals. Let's review each one of them and see what we have to work with here. So let's review the 2.0 of the RX-78 NT Alex. And we all remembered the original Alex Master Raid kit, where it was great at the time, but in all due fairness, we all knew it had issues, especially around the knees and certain joint areas. This, of course, the 2.0 made a 180 on this, and it's now a newer kit than what it was before. Furthermore, it has 4 layers of structure. You have the inner frame, the armor with the frame that holds up the Choban hammer, and the Choban hammer itself. It has its standard weapons of the beam rifle, the bazooka, the shield, 2 beam sabers, and of course you have what it looks like without the armor, with the armor, and with the armor with the frame. It also comes with bonus parts. We already know about that. This nice little face mask there, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's a very, very nice, tanky looking mobile suit. Very slick. Very nice to see. And it comes with figures, of course. And I think the coolest gimmick is the shield, where you can open it up and expose the minigun that's in this forearm. The Gatling gun, that is. Let's open this up. By the way, the reasons why I really wanted to build this knot is because, you know, more in the pocket and all that stuff. But I've been using this mobile suit in battle operations too. It's been one of my go-to mobile suits when I do either I think it's either a 450, 500, 550 match, whether it's an ace match or a regular match. But I've always been a big fan of this mobile suit. The one thing one of my custom setups for that in the game is I don't use the beam rifle. The beam rifle has a weird. I mean, it does have good damage, but I'd rather go with the bazooka because it has nice, good splash damage, and it will knock a suit back a bit, causing it to stagger. And you could use the beam saber to finish it off or knock it down. Then pull out the mini Gatling gun, the main Gatling guns from the forearm to hit it on the ground. And of course, it has the standard Gatling guns in its head, the Sea-Wiz. Here's the manual. Here's what the kit looks like built. It's a beautiful color of blue, nice royal blue. Ooh, very nice. And of course you have the armored parts as well over it. Good. We have the shield parts, white parts here. Some of the green and red parts. And you have this grayish blue tone. Almost turquoise. A dark turquoise color. I see parts of the bazooka in this grayish tone color. This could be the beam rifle, it could be wrong. Inner frame parts, waist unit, legs, chest, back, skirt armor. Next series of white parts, the leg parts, backpack, thigh armor, waist armor, part of the bazooka, more of the armored parts. See some polycaps here. Chrome plated parts, very nice. See the Gatling gun, 3-barrel Gatling guns. Actually, wow, wait a minute, there's 4? I don't remember 4, I know 2. I'll have to review the manual. Here are the frame parts, of course. Detail parts there. This is supposed to be like a bluish silver tone. Then we have the gold tone, which, well, one would argue, is it gold, is it mustard, is it yellow? Who knows? And of course, this comes with both the standard V-fin and the broken V-fin during its combat with the Zaku FZ. Here's the beam rifle assembly. I see hands, no parts for the hands. The custom face mask, beam saber, and the remaining parts that makes up the frame for the armor. Oh, no, there's more here. And more goldish parts. There's a lot of parts here. Wow. And we have the next set of white parts. See the shoulder parts, the ankle parts right there, part of the feet. Of course, it's 2 plates, so you get twice. More of the armored parts and parts that make up the feet. Clearly, there's probably another part that makes up the feet there. So this comes with stickers. It also comes with this fabric, and that's also for the joints on the shoulder. And then we have more parts of the inner frame. So interesting, the inner frame is not the same as the inner frame that you color as any other inner frame, so there's no charcoal parts. So we have this color part here. Alright. This is pretty cool. A lot of parts here to make up this kit. I remember seeing this at MosquitoCon this year, and you know what? I'm sorry, I should have learned to appreciate it. It was a good color tone and all that stuff, but I guess I wasn't prepared to see something like that, that kit during the show. But okay, it's good. Alright, let's unbox the other kit to see what we got there. Okay, so now we have the Zaku 2 FZ. And again, we should have gotten a master version of this kit. I definitely want to explore why it doesn't give you that option. But you get a lot of stuff here. You get the Heat Hawk, grenades, the machine gun. You don't get the standard Zaku machine gun, but I believe I have parts to make it up for the type, the 2.0, because I remember the 2.0 that I gutted for another build a long time ago, if anybody remembers that, and I still have the machine gun for that. So I wonder if I can apply it to this. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, this has all the gimmicks there. And then on this side we have the... So you have 3 heads. You have the normal head, you have the head with the commander visor, and then you have the Fritz helmet. And that's what I liked about it, the Fritz helmet. Very posable, very neat looking. Can actually do that. I have the high grade of this, and I was actually considering of doing a dual build with this and the high grade, but that will be for next year, of course. Here's the manual. We'll explore that later on. I see portions of the feet and this rubber umbilical. A nice green color. Ooh, this is actually really nice. I like the head mount of this. Far better than these two. And of course, that's the part that holds up the Heat Hawk. Some red parts here for the trim. Then we have gray tone colors with a hint of blue Actually, to tell you the truth, in the light, it looks more of a hint of purple on it. But these are the joints that make that for the inner frame. There's stickers there. The next set of green parts. Pretty much the same thing as the other side. Parts of the arm and shoulder, feet. That's the leg parts right there. More red parts and clear parts. I think the one thing that I'm not fond of is this weird slope on the mono eye, because it is in a weird angle, and actually I'm not a big fan of it. Now we have a dark green color tone with the skirt armor, back armor skirt, the spikes. Oh, this one's like this. Interesting. Gonna have to look into gluing and sanding that out. RE100 is considered more of a high grade than, upscale high grade. There's the machine gun, which is kind of the same machine gun that's on the Dom. Portion of the He-Hawk, and the remaining part of the feet. Actually, I didn't even see the yellow trim part for the He-Hawk itself. Is it here? Yeah, here. Well, no, that's that. There should be another part here. Maybe I missed it. I don't see it here. Maybe it is part of the design. We'll look at that in a minute once we review the manuals. So let me prepare reviewing the manuals. Alrighty. Let's review the NT Alex manual first. It's a nice little book, of course, with the history development of the Gundam NT. And of course we all realize that this mobile suit was actually meant for Admiral Ray, but never got to him. I remember seeing Kakarot on YouTube talking about what would happen if Amuro got his hands on the Gundam NT. That would have been a nice little side story or alternate story. But it is what it is. So here's the part list. And there's a lot of parts that you're not going to be using. So I see one part here on this tray, the G tray, but nearly 90%, 80% that's in the K parts are not being used. If it's not being used, then what was this used for? Bubbles may be presented to clear parts. Okay. Was this from the original master grade? May have to look it up and see. Wow. And of course you have the parts for the inner frame and the outer part frames. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of parts here not going to be used. I really like to know what these were for. Maybe somebody can fill in the blanks for me. And we have the assembly of the torso unit. All the parts, joints, connections. Then the head unit. And then the assembly of the arms, the shoulder, and then that weird fabric thing they had to put on. Hopefully the fabric is not going to be too difficult, like I remembered when I built the full armored Gundam Thunderbolt version. And then we have the feet and the legs. Definitely like to explore how they tackled the legs and the knee area, the knees areas. So we have both left and right legs. We have the waist unit, the skirt armor. A lot of small detail parts here, so I have a feeling I'm going to be utilizing the reversible tape to paint a lot of parts. Of course, we have the timeline of when this mobile suit was used, and the color guide, which we will get to soon. you have the color guide for both the mobile suit and the color guide for the characters. Mechanism of how this would look, and all the weaponry, how to pose it. Assembly right here. The backpack, beam sabers, beam rifle, and the bazooka. Is it considered a bazooka or hype bazooka? I wonder. Then we have the shield, which does that gimmick, and how to connect to it. This has parts forming hands. This does not have manipulator hands. And then where to pose it, how to connect it, put on an action base, and how to deploy the shield to fire off the gun. And then of course here we'll talk about the assembly of the inner frame of the outer frame for the Chogun armor, for the chest, waist, backpack, then both left and right arm, both left and right shoulders, both left and right feet and legs. Actually no feet, just legs. And once the frame is done, then the assembly of the armor itself right over it. Yeah, pretty nice. And then once it's assembled, then you have the assembly of the head, and then the marking locations on where all the stickers would go. Obviously, if you have the standard water slide decals, they'll be better, you know. And of course, this is what the kit would look like. Very nice, good detail. For the F2, for the FC, sorry, Zaku FC. Here are all the parts. I see only one X, one part that's not going to be used. And then we have the assembly of the waist. Is it the waist? No, that's the chest unit. Just couldn't. At first it looked the waist. Then we have the waist unit, backpack, and then we have the beginning of the head unit, which of course gives you the option of either Commander, Standard, or Fritz helmet. And I'm going for Fritz. Then we have the arms, beginning with both left and right arm, right arm, with the shield, and then we have the spike shield on the left arm, which that seam line is gonna drive me nuts. Or is the seam line part of the design? I'm gonna have to review the Zaku 2 FZ using battle operations as a point of guide right there. Then we have the assembly of the legs, and the feet, waist unit. I'm connecting all those together right there. And then we have the Heat Hawk. D1. What is D1? So the D1 is the light gray part. That's why I couldn't find it, because I was under the impression it was the yellow. But then again, you can paint it as in like a burning yellow color type setup. How to put the Heat Hawk away, where to put the clip away for the machine gun, how to grab the grenade, how to put the grenade away, and then the 90mm machine gun itself right there. Where to put the cap, so you could put the pose. Oh, this comes with the option to switch back and forth the mono eye. That's cool. And then we have the location of all the decals, if you got decals specifically for this. Unfortunately, this does not come with a nice beautiful picture like the Master Grade. You do get all the poses and all the information here, and then we have the color guide right there. Wow, this is going to be neat. Very neat to work on these kits. And we're going to talk about painting next.